An intelligent person is hindered by their own intellect. That's the paradox. But what does it mean to be intelligent? Many ask, what does intelligent really mean? It's actually defined by three specific indicators. First, the ability to find answers to questions. Second, the ability to make effective decisions. And third, the ability to foresee consequences. The paradox of intelligence lies in the fact that making decisions requires seeing possible scenarios of how events might unfold, and the intelligent person sees more scenarios than the foolish one. This complicates decision-making and makes intelligent people indecisive. But the foolish are always decisive because they see at most two possible outcomes. Success, however, always requires action. Not just any action, but confident action. And that is only possible when you have faith. When you gain confidence? You gain confidence when you feel in control. And what is the sense of control? It's the understanding of cause and effect. When you know what will happen after something else. Where does understanding cause and effect come from? From knowledge and information. But there are no opportunities there, because if you know the cause and effect relationship, so do many others. There are no opportunities where everything is already known. You won't earn much there. The paradox is that most money is made not where everything is known, but in the realm of uncertainty, where nothing is yet known. What matters is how you manage what you don't know. You might say, but in that realm people both earn a lot and lose a lot. And I'll tell you, that's exactly the point. Because people don't know how to deal with uncertainty. That's precisely what I talk about when I present my portfolio at crypto forums. I explain how to manage uncertainty. Uncertainty can be managed. And the most interesting question people ask me is, how can one be smart and foolish at the same time? I reply, you don't have to be both smart and foolish at the same time, but you can be smart and still do foolish things. So here's the idea. When you build your portfolio, keep roughly 90% in conservative assets and 10% in aggressive, foolish ones, those you'd never invest in while thinking rationally. And I have an algorithm for how to do that. The problem with intelligent people is that they don't want to go beyond the boundaries of science. What is science? Science is like a lamppost illuminating a small area around itself. Within that lit area, scientists can tell you exactly, if you step here, this will happen. If you step there, you'll fall. And it works precisely as predicted. And you think, wow, science is powerful. But science says nothing about what lies beyond the illuminated area. Because there's an important law in life. What can be known is finite, while what cannot be known is infinite. Infinite, yes. It's like light and darkness. Our universe is mostly darkness, with only small pockets of light. And remember, opportunities always come from the darkness. Science cannot tell you what to do with that dark part, but religion can. Science says do this, do that. And I ask, but what if I do this instead? Does the evil eye exist? What if I act differently? Science replies, we don't know yet. That's the theory of probability, randomness. But religion says everything has a creator, and the creator has a design. According to that design, you were created. You have a purpose, and your strengths were defined. When you fulfill them, you fulfill your divine purpose. And with that will come both fortune and burden. I have a course on Kaizen planning, which incorporates techniques partly derived from the Japanese philosophy of Ikigai, partly from religion, and partly from Kaizen philosophy itself. Here's the method. You draw a circle. In the first circle, write down the things you love doing. Then draw a second circle, and in it, write down the things you are good at. The things you do well are an external marker that you are likely strong in those areas. The third circle, write down what you get paid for. Analyze where your income actually comes from. In the fourth circle, write down what society needs. At the intersection of these four circles lies your mission. That's the combination of what you love, what you're good at, what you get paid for, and what the world needs, something you could devote your whole life to and remain effective. A person who has found their mission differs in that money will never be their main goal. What matters most to them is doing what they love. Now, in your opinion, what percentage of people truly realize and define their mission? No more than 1%. That means 99% live in ignorance. going through life day by day without understanding why they wake up, doing only what sustains their existence, making a living to buy things that provide comfort and safety. Scientists say we spend 93% of our time acting out of habit, meaning our level of awareness is generally quite low. That's the first point. The second point is understanding what drives people. There are three main motivators. 1. Stimulus. In ancient Greece, a stimulus was literally a stick with a sharp tip used to prod an ox to pull a cart or plow. So a stimulus always means running away from pain. It's the strongest human driver. When someone wants to escape poverty, hunger, cold, illness, and so on. When they want to break free from some remote village to reach Moscow or Almaty, their eyes are burning with purpose. That seems like a goal, but it's not yet a mission. At that stage, a person makes money wherever they can, from anything that comes their way. But notice, they'll never truly succeed in what they're not good at. That's the first level. By the age of 35 to 40, people usually already have a house, a car, a stable income, and live where they wanted. And then they start entering the territory of burnout. Many businessmen come to me saying, "Man, it's just not interesting anymore. Making money isn't exciting. Life feels dull, the colors have faded, and I don't want to do anything." That happens because the stimulus is gone. Imagine you're running from a bear. You sprint 2 kilometers and the bear's no longer behind you. Why keep running? There's no more danger. And when there's no danger, you start thinking, what now? But you no longer have a guiding star. That's the midlife crisis. There's no answer to the question, what is this all for? The second half of life seems to have begun, but why? That's when the question arises. Why do you even live? You're not just a biological machine converting food into waste. So you want to understand what you live for. If you don't define your mission, your life runs completely on autopilot. It becomes an amoeba's life. But when you do what you love, when you chase happiness instead of success, you can stay at work an extra hour, burn 100 more calories, and feel joy doing it. Because you love it. And here's the key marker. When you love something, you constantly improve in it. Because you love the process, not just the result. When you love the process, you naturally grow, refine your skills, and your chances of achieving success and wealth become far higher than if you were only chasing wealth itself. That's why you should always pursue happiness. Do what you love, and then you'll achieve both prosperity and financial success as a natural consequence. You all know that people's income and results vary greatly, sometimes by tens, hundreds, or even thousands of percent. Some people make $10,000 a year, while others earn hundreds of thousands or even billions. Yet all of them have the same 8 working hours per day, 24 hours in a day, and 365 days in a year. Most importantly, they have no genetic differences or variations in brain size or memory capacity. So why does this happen? Today, we'll talk about the different levels of effectiveness and how to break through your glass ceilings. You will never grow or achieve remarkable results if you don't understand this. You'll constantly hit the glass ceiling of your own development, simply because you won't realize that effectiveness operates at different levels. And these levels do not depend on how hard you work, how much time you spend at your job, or even on your talents and abilities. To earn well and live a balanced life, a person only needs 8 working hours per day, or roughly 2,000 hours per year. I don't believe in working 14 hours a day. If someone works that much, it's a clear sign of inefficiency, not just at work, but in the way they live as a whole. If a person works 14 hours a day, it means other areas of their life are suffering, health, family, or relationships with friends and loved ones. This video is for those who have achieved a certain level of success, but have stopped growing. For those who don't understand why their increasing effort and working hours don't lead to higher results, who feel they've hit a glass ceiling. It's for those who want to know why there's such a huge gap in the results of different people, and for those who want more. Once you understand why some people achieve extraordinary results while others don't, you'll finally be able to break through your own glass ceiling and move to a new level of income and achievement. You'll understand where the exit is, how to move beyond your limitations. You'll realize you've been like that fly endlessly hitting the glass, trying to break through, while an open door was right beside you. If you want to achieve ever-growing results without increasing your working hours and workload, you need to watch this video until the end. This video will open your eyes and give you a powerful boost of motivation. Subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, leave comments, and share this video with ambitious people, especially those who work day and night but aren't seeing impressive results. Believe me, they'll thank you for it. We all want bigger results and higher incomes, because our results and income determine our quality of life. In pursuit of these bigger results and incomes, we begin to work longer and harder. At first, there's a direct correlation between your effort, working hours, and income. This is the first level. At this level, your income directly depends on your talent, abilities, personal efficiency, diligence, and the length of your workday. The more of any of these factors you have, the higher your income. This is where employees and freelancers usually are. You work harder and longer, and your income grows. However, at some point, your income growth begins to slow down, and then stops altogether, even though you continue to increase your effort and working hours. That's when you hit your first glass ceiling. A glass ceiling is the absence of growth despite increasing effort and time. Oh, you try one way, then another, but all in vain. Your income no longer grows. To increase your income further, you must start doing something differently or doing something entirely different. The key phrase here is, do something differently or do something else. That is exactly how you break through your glass ceiling. Every time your results stop growing despite increasing effort, you must either start doing the same things in a new way or start doing something completely new. That's the open door through which you can break out to the next level. Next, you realize that working alone is inefficient, that it's impossible to do everything by yourself. So you start hiring assistants and other people. That's how a business is born. Your next level of effectiveness is then determined by how well you can delegate. There are 3 levels of delegation. 1. Delegating tasks, execution. This is when you tell a person what to do, when, where, and how. Then you check the completed work and pay them a salary for it. 2. Delegating results or problem solving. Here, you tell the person what needs to be done and what result you expect in the end. Then you evaluate the result and pay a bonus or reward. 3. Delegating decision-making and goal achievement. At this level, you assign a goal, define the person's responsibility, and later share the results with them. What's the difference between the second and third levels? At the second level, you explain how to act and what specific result you want. You're essentially buying that result from the person in exchange for a bonus. At the third level, you give them a goal, which usually includes many intermediate steps and smaller results, but you no longer tell them how to achieve it. This is delegating the achievement of goals. Accordingly, you share the results with them, whether through a bonus, a profit share, or stock options. Once you reach the third level of delegation, you'll eventually hit another glass ceiling, though a much higher one this time. That ceiling will bring you solid income and make you a prosperous or even wealthy person. But still, you won't reach truly extraordinary achievements just yet. To reach the highest level of effectiveness, you must again start doing things differently and start doing something else. To get to that level, you must understand that there are 2 different kinds of activity: earning money and creating wealth. As Rockefeller once said, the person who spends all day earning money has no time to create wealth. To create wealth, beyond personal effectiveness, talent, and a strong team, you also need luck and tools that allow you to make the most of that luck. So what is luck? Luck is a favorable coincidence of time and circumstances. Simply put, being in the right place at the right time where big opportunities exist. But opportunities alone aren't enough. You must know how to recognize them, seize them, and use tools to extract the maximum benefit. That's what's called superposition, the deliberate process of creating predictable luck and using it to the fullest. But that's a topic for my next video.